episode 490 of the Warrior Mind podcast. And before we get into rules of the game, last week we talked about laws of the mind. Now I will go over all of them real quick, but I'm not going to go into the details. Please go back if you missed last week's podcast, go there. But law number 1, what you think is what you get. Law number 2, every thought causes a physical reaction. Law number 3, imagination is more powerful than knowledge. Law number 4, your habits are your life. Law number 5, negative thoughts breed like cockroaches. Law number 6, attitude is a matter of choice. Law number 7, reactions must be managed. Law number 8, thoughts must be kept alive. And law number 9, the attitude of gratitude. So if you'd like to find out more about those, you can go listen to last week's podcast or go to warriormindcoach.com and then use the pull-down menu blog and do a search for that podcast. So today, we're going to be talking about rules of the game. So we have laws that we aspire to or adhere to, and then we have these rules, these universal rules. Like the universe is full of rules, the rule of gravity, the rule of all these other different rules. So we're going to talk about the rules of the game. The game is what we are playing. We're kind of like in the Matrix, if you will. And so we want to investigate what these rules are so we know how to play and win. First rule is thoughts are things. Thoughts are things. They are absolutely real forces. They're energy. And they are the cause of your effects. Your effects is your external world. The cause is your internal world. So weak and scattered thoughts are weak and scattered forces and produce weak and scattered results. Where strong and concentrated thoughts are strong and concentrated real forces and produce strong and concentrated results. So what I want you to learn from this rule of the game is what you think matters. It absolutely matters because it's real forces and they produce the effects in your life. Rule number 2, thoughts are bidirectional. The mind is like a two-way radio. It is a sending and receiving station of thoughts. We are constantly affecting the outside environment with our thoughts, and the outside environment, those people, groups, and community we associate with are constantly affecting our thoughts. So have you ever gone into a room and say, man, the person's giving off a bad vibe? Well, you're picking up on that. If you ever gone into a room of people and changed it, it's because of your thoughts. So it's a two-way radio. So when we want to attract like thoughts or like people, we need to start thinking like we want the people around us to think. If we're not aware of our thoughts, we are going to be conditioned to think the way the people are around us. And it's going to be amazing that once you start to monitor your thoughts and start to change them, those people that aren't in aligned with it will start to drift away, and those people that are aligned with it will start to come into your life. So remember, thoughts are bidirectional. They go both ways. Rule number 3, thoughts are like magnets. And the thoughts that are thought with emotion, right, become magnetized and attract similar and like thoughts. Any thought that has emotion attached to it changes the dynamic and the energy of the thoughts, i.e., negative thoughts attract more negative thoughts, positive thoughts attract more positive thoughts. I am sure that you can go back to a time when you had a disagreement with a significant other, a boss, a coworker, and you got into this tailspin of negative thoughts. You had a thought about all the people who've done you wrong. You thought about all the bad things in your life. You thought about all the, right? And it's just like this cascade, this domino effect. Once you think one bad thought, boom, 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 all the other bad thoughts follow suit. And that is kind of our default way of thinking. Why, I don't know, but that's just part of it. But if we can use those dominoes for positive thoughts, this is why appreciation and gratitude is so important, because that's that first domino. You appreciate good things in your life, boom, and that domino falls. Then you appreciate more and more and more and more, and you see the good things around you, and you feel good, and you are good, and you have these emotions. So when you can think of a thought, just think of a picture, think of an event, and really get into the emotions, because the thoughts have to have this emotion to create this energy. And this is how law of attraction works: is you have a thought, you have an image, and you have an emotion with it. Both together create an electromagnetic field which attracts to you that which you are manifesting into the holographic universe. So remember, just thoughts are like magnets. Your mind follows directions. This is the next rule of the game. So your mind takes the directions that you give it and follow them. Provide a little description, and the mind goes to working, representing the information in our internal screen. Like a movie director, mind uses the information as instructions for our mental cinema. So the mind, when you give it unconsciously a direction, that is, I don't want this person to show up in my life, I don't want this to happen, I want that to happen. Even if you go, I don't want, the mind cannot understand a don't want. So what you say is, I want this person in my life, I want to be broke, I want to be fat, I want to be overweight, and it will follow that. It will create a picture in your mind and then start to work on that. So another way of saying this, or understanding this, is that the conscious mind is the goal setter, the unconscious mind is the goal getter. So the pictures in our mind is what's going to manifest in our life. Next rule: the mind externalizes instructions. So we live in two worlds: the inner world of thoughts and feelings and emotions, and the outer world of circumstances, situations, and results. And we can see a person's internal world of ideas and frames by noticing the external games. What are their results? External life reflects internal frames. When I say frames, it's your limiting beliefs, your values, your experiences, your emotions. The behavioral, speech, and action of the games that we play on the outside are expressions of our internal frames on the inside. They go together. So if we think that we're victims to society, and that's our frame of reference, victim, we are going to create external events to support that victim. A victim has to be taken advantage of, or allow themselves to be taken advantage of, to support their victim mentality. This is essential to understand, that the mind will externalize these instructions. And these instructions are basically just our beliefs and our thoughts. This is what happens. And so whatever frame of reference we have internally, that is our beliefs, our values, our emotions, our past experiences, is the instruction we're given our mind, and it has to create an external reality that is aligned with it. There is no other way. So the mind externalizes your instructions. The mind, rule number 6, the mind runs on representations. So the cognitive and neurosciences have discovered that minds represent our external sensed experiences. It's not that we literally have an internal movie screen on our mind, yet it seems that we do. So the unconscious mind runs on representations, that is, symbols, images, pictures. And when we know what that is, this is why mental rehearsal or visualization, or however you want to call it, is so important, because when we can create a picture, the mind knows what we want. Words are how we communicate from our ego to somebody else. How we communicate internally is creating a picture of that. So although we can say affirmations to ourselves, we want to make sure there is a picture that represents that affirmations. This is why, again, guided imagery, mental rehearsal, guided meditation with images is so important, because our mind runs on representations. So that's it for rules of the game. If you'd like to get some more information on this, please go to warriormindcoach.com and use the pull-down menu to go to the blog to see the show notes. Next time, we're going to cover your code of honor for a modern warrior. And again, please visit warriormindcoach.com for more information. And also follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest underneath Warrior Mind Coach. And until next time.